Welcome to Between the Brows podcast, presented by Buckventures Outdoors, where the guys talk about hunting, God, and everything in between. We've got a great show for you today, so sit back, enjoy, and let's get right into it.
Me? I don't know. I haven't done this in months.
Welcome
back
to episode number. We should have thought about this.
227, probably.
I know. I just listened to one ago, and the guy's like 478, and I was like, we're probably like in single digits.
No, I think we're at like 12. I think we've got over.
Okay.
We got double digits, I think.
All I know is the last podcast we did, we opened up with, guys, it's been a while.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do more.
And here we are. It's been a while, and we're gonna do more.
Yeah. Everybody's got good intentions. I'm sure they can relate to that.
We are going to do more.
Once a week. That was our meeting this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Once a week.
Maybe after Christmas is over.
Yeah,
right?
We can squeeze it in.
Probably.
We're already now making excuses.
Yeah. It has been a while. I really don't remember the last one we did. Maybe before season.
Gosh, it's been a whirlwind from business to hunting to everything else.
Yeah, and we don't have notes. We don't have papers of anything. We just want to get on here and just chat about, I guess, our year. Well, in the future episodes, we're going to dive into things a little bit deeper, but just looking at our season up to this point, it's December 16th today. And it has, actually, I don't know if you remember last year in January, me and you did a podcast entitled it The Worst Deer Season We've Ever Had.
Is that right?
That's what we titled it. It was for the 2023 deer season.
What did we kill?
Well, we didn't, not the worst, the toughest. Okay. Like the toughest hunting we've ever had.
We shot didn't we shoot some good deer last year? Oh, I shot caddy.
Yeah, we ended good.
Yeah.
We ended good, but it was
very tough.
It was a tough year. And we thought, and I remember in that podcast, like, well, Lord willing, that doesn't happen again. We got big plans that, we should have a good 2024. And I can confidently say that this season has maybe been twice as hard as last season.
Well, just listen to you talk to them. I mean, it could be kind of a trend. I mean, it's like, we've all, just like in Kansas, I always tell y'all 30 years ago in Unit 16, you could find a 200, you could have a 200 to hunt back then. And anybody that knows that area knows that I'm telling the truth. Back then, it was so much different. And over time, it's come down. And our toughest season last year, and then looking at this year, and not only looking at our deal, but talking to several other people, I feel like it is. I mean, first of all, I feel like everything I've done has just been wrong. I don't know if y'all have ever felt that way. Just everything that you do, every decision that you make, has just been wrong. It feels like I need to write or read some Hunting for Dummies book. I mean, literally. And, but again, the toughest season, the hardest season, the worst weather, on and on it goes for me this year. And again, as I talk with other people, there's lots that's happened from EHD. And again, I don't know if you're really looking at it, but October was the hottest weather, and it was a fact.
In Oklahoma,
the hottest weather that we've ever had.
And we're not even talking like a stretch of like record heat. We're talking like almost the whole month being above normal. I mean, it may be, 80 degrees with pressure at, 29.8 for a long time. And you're just like, oh man, as soon as we get this cold front, we're going to go in and we're going to kill some stuff. Yeah. And that cold front really never happened.
Well, even when it was weird, because I remember me and Cole would be looking at the weather coming, and it would look like a cold front was coming. And it would actually have it on there. And
it'd be like a 15 or 20 degree drop, or what it's showing.
And the closer it got, it would just dwindle.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think right now, if I'm not mistaken, I think we've had 2 hard freezes. I mean, we didn't have a freeze till, 3 weeks ago?
No,
yeah. Yeah, end of November.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially, here in Kansas where we do majority of our hunting. And I will say it's been a tough year, but it has not been from a lack of hunting or trying. Even just going back to, and we can talk about this more later, but just summer pictures. You know, usually, and we'll get into the land deal later that we've kind of moved areas or whatever, but usually we have one big deer on camera, like 180 or bigger, somewhere in there. We had, to my knowledge, y'all can correct me, we had 170 on camera in Kansas. They got shot in muzzleloader.
Yeah.
The perfect 10. Mm-hmm. And that's all I know of. Everything else has been not really even 160s. We've had...
Well, probably our next biggest deer is a 4-year-old that's in the 60s that we're not shooting. But you're right. I mean, it has just went so down. I mean, and just to let you guys know that we've been working with the Wildlife Department in Kansas. I mean, we have EHD. We've... I don't know if you found it. You found it. We were all together right there and found that dead deer at Triangle. Hooves are messed up. Mm-hmm. We watched other deer die right in front of the cameras. We've contacted the Wildlife Department there, working with them. They said, yeah, there's cases there. We've really not had to deal with that. I haven't. I mean, you know, we've heard about it, and it makes you even feel, you know, more sorry for those that have to go through it on a regular basis. It's the weird deal, though. Answer me this to you guys, and I mean, where do all the big bucks get shot? What?
Iowa. Midwest, Iowa.
Okay, so Iowa.
Yeah.
Who has the worst EHD?
Iowa.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't get that. I mean, is it it almost makes me think, and obviously a biologist would probably look at us and be able to answer this, but I mean, it almost makes me think, okay, is that just the Lord keeping that herd clean and it allows them to get much bigger? I mean, obviously they got the dirt, they got this, they got that, but, you know, we're having problems. I think Kansas, the doe, there's so many does.
So many.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know. I mean, that's just an observation, but I know we are doing everything we can from our land to food to this to that to passing deer. And our next step, guys, is we are going to hammer the does. And, you know, I actually, guys, I don't know if you saw this. I saw some stuff put out on Facebook a few days ago, and they're like, this is just a myth. You shouldn't shoot your does and all that. And I just have to respectfully disagree with those posts. I think that's hogwash. To me, even on a practical level, it makes sense that you keep that somewhat together. Mm-hmm. And I ain't saying 1-to-1. I don't like that. I don't even maybe like 2-to-1, but at least 2.5, 3-to-1, I think would be great.
Well, but we're at like, what, 10-to-1? I don't even know. It's outrageous.
All I know is 2 weeks ago we were over there hunting the woolly. Me and Dave were on alfalfa, and Jeff was driving around the section, and we had 45 does out in front of us, and I think Jeff saw another 85
on the other two fields behind you.
Just in a small section,
like 300,
300 and something acres. Yeah, and to have like 125 does just that you see in that small of an area, like that's a problem.
Well, to me, I mean, the argument, guys, to me, my defense on it, I mean, just from the practical level is you take a buck, and this is what I see where EHD comes in. You take a 4 or 5-year-old deer, and that's usually what EHD gets. But even if it don't, throw EHD out, 4 or 5-year-old buck, and he has to service, you know, it's just running and running and running and running. And even just the wear and tear on his body, mm-hmm. And to be able to get back right to grow his antlers the next year, or possibly the rigidness of that kills him. But over and over, it just doesn't go well for a healthy herd. And we're seeing things so far out of whack. We talked about that a little bit, I think, in the last one, where we had people seeing bucks being bred October 15th in Ohio. So I guess my deal, and you guys will have to make that decision for yourself, but I think that is something that, and maybe, like I said, EHD keeps it in control in Iowa and different places. And in these places where there's big bucks, I mean, Illinois gets it, but Kansas and some of our stuff is so out of whack, we are fixing to do everything in our power to knock some of them does back. And I've personally had experience with this back in the day with Wallahatchie, where we shot 27, 28 does in a year, and the next year it might feel like, oh my gosh, what did we do? But that next following year, it was unbelievable. So.
Yeah. Well, and a bad thing about EHD too, and I'm not a biologist, so I don't know 100%, but I'm pretty sure I've seen some literature out there.
You did Best Western, or what is it, Holiday Inn Express?
Yeah.
Ain't that the joke? I'm not a doctor, but I did say it at Holiday Inn.
Yeah. I got you. Didn't know where we were going with that, but yeah, I guess that's true. But I'm pretty sure I've seen some articles out there saying that EHD targets, bucks more than does. And
the theory I've heard on that is because they're run down.
Okay, I got you.
That's what it's targeting, the deer that are most run down. Again, I don't know either, but that's what I've always thought.
I don't know if it was the QDMA or there was some sort of literature that, like, when EHD, like the percentage of bucks versus does, the bucks is higher for whatever reason, and I can't remember what their reasoning, or if there's any science behind that or not. But which in a case like us where our buck to doe ratio is so out of whack, in favor of more does, if all of a sudden EHD comes in and is taking out, skewing more bucks than it's killing does, then it's just making the problem even worse.
Well, and the practicality of it is this: take the 828 farm. We got some junk running around there. I'm talking 3, 4, 5-year-old junk, 6 points, and so when you get that many does, you got that less of bucks having to breed, and then it opens up the window for all that junk breeding as well. And even if, per se, we can't get the tags to shoot those junk bucks, if we can narrow those does down where those quality deer are going to get the does, and it would help. I mean, and again, this is just from Jeff Danker 101, practicality of it, to me is what I see. And again, this is, to me, in our round table meetings in Buckventures and our farms, that is probably our number one area that I see that we're not doing a good job in.
Kind of going back, one thing we can talk about, which we have talked about, but even get other people's input. We talked about we haven't had a whole lot of big deer on camera, right? Very few. But if we go back to last year, to my knowledge, on the woolly grass, the triangle, and the 828 farm,
and Booner
and the Booner, we had a lot of 4-year-olds that had the potential to be very large, or would be good deer. And a lot of those deer we had pictures of, and every single one of them, I believe, went backwards.
Crazy.
They we know one for sure. We got pictures of. He lost probably 10 inches. He was around a 170 last year. We passed him at 12 yards. He was maybe 160, probably upper 50s, 160. What else did we have?
We had that narrow buck. Remember, we thought he was like 140s, and we kind of thought he might be able to do something big. We called him G1 buck.
Yeah, and he's like 125 this year. He lost 15 inches.
I mean,
he was so small that we were like, I don't even know if that could be him, but I mean, it has to be. Like, he got that much
you ought
smaller.
to throw those pictures up and let them see that. It's just crazy.
7 Up.
Seven up,
got
went down,
small.
didn't it? Yeah.
Well, even the pencil buck.
Well,
the pencil buck got smaller. Like his one side it's tiny. It feels like.
And your big 9 grew a little.
There were a couple that
but
added.
He didn't do a lot.
I would imagine that Cottonwood buck got a little bigger. He got more mass.
He got
his
more
tine
mass.
length, I think, got smaller, and he had fewer tines, if I remember right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd almost rather shot him last year. I mean, he's freaking massive last year too. I mean, obviously we saw him on the ground this year, so. But
is that so? Do you think that is? I don't say. I think it could be a multitude of things. Do you think that is they were so worn down from last year because our does are so out of whack that they were? I mean, we saw Stickers. I mean, we saw him in December. He was just walking around. I mean,
he was dead.
He looked dead.
Was dead.
And that's the one he lost. He was 170, lost 10 inches or so. So do you think that's from the doe populations being so out of whack and they're running so hard, they're just basically killing themselves? And then they're not having the opportunity to put on inches, or do we had a big drought, here in Oklahoma and Kansas. Do we think attributes it? Is it all of it?
I think it's all of it. I think you just got to even go to the human element. I mean, as you're healthy and this and that, and you're eating better, you're exercising, you're doing whatever and staying healthy. But if you just run yourself ragged, and you have to run yourself ragged, along with that comes what? Stress is one of the number one things I know to high fence people that I've talked to. The number one things that keep their bucks from growing is stress. So that's got to be in the wild as well. I think so. I think it's all. Now, I think the drought has something to do with it as well. So, I mean, again, it's got to be all of it. It's got to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, your bucks, what are they down there in a different county?
I haven't seen a shooter on the hoof. Like, we saw one, and just for a second, it seems like my 5-year-old is maybe 5 to 10 inches bigger, maybe. And then I had a 3-year-old had a good jump to 4. But I don't have very many bucks on camera at all, period. But I don't have that many does on camera either, so that is kind of confusing to me too.
And so
there's not a ton of deer.
It's because I've never.
Because I don't really think the doe to buck ratio there is that far out.
Yeah, I don't think it's super out of whack there. Which, of course, I've only been there. I don't know much about it, just from what I've seen. And it's kind of where you get to hunt. It's a little different. It's not a place that holds a lot of deer.
Right.
It's one of those
next to the people that
hold them. But I will say, we had them, and then they disappeared, and they have not come back at all. Like the 5-year-old that she was really wanting to kill, he's probably 145-inch 10-point, just a big frame deer. Kind of reminded me of the antelope buck.
Exactly like that last year.
He disappeared. Now, did they get shot? Maybe. Who knows? But I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's something, guys. Y'all let us know y'all's thoughts on. I mean, again, I'm as confused a hunter as I've ever been. We put a lot of time into our farms and this and that, and just and so excited, as many of you guys I know are. And then you run those cameras and you're like, golly, what's happened? I mean, we lost. If you remember, I passed Hook. Cole and I went in. We passed him. He ended up being 169 inches. Well, the reason we know that, we ran that show. We had someone email in and said, hey, they shot him on December 6th. I mean, and we said kudos to him, congratulations. He's definitely not our deer, but we lost him to that 169-inch deer. And in Shadow, if you remember Shadows, the buck Chancey filmed, and it had almost looked like an orange peel in his mouth. It's over his, it was real weird. But anyway, I figured him close to 170. And he just never showed up. So I don't know if we lost him to EHD. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But gosh, I don't know. I don't know where you're at. Tell us. I mean, we're trying to figure this out. Well,
then you look at Luther here, where we hunt close to the house. It's 80 acres. We put out cameras in the summer, and I don't know how many bucks we had on camera.
It was a zoo.
There was probably over 20 different bucks on 80 acres. That we had,
probably had
pretty much every day.
One picture with 20 in it at once.
For sure.
And right now, we have two bucks, which I get. Deer move off because there's no real food on this place other than we're putting out some big and Jane corn, that kind of stuff. But I don't know. It's just wild. It's been a very weird year. And back to what he said, we've made the wrong decision pretty much every time.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure a big factor this year, especially like in Lincoln County here, not so much like Kansas maybe, but it was a bumper crop of acorns this year. I mean, a bumper crop. And I know that's spreading deer out a lot. And I almost think, which, at this point, we're just trying to figure out, what is going on, right? Like, we're just trying to figure it out. But especially like Luther right there, like I could see where that could potentially spread some bucks out because, that 80 acres, they were all there during the summer.
They can't live there all year.
Right,
all together.
Right. Yeah, they can't live there, so they start to spread out, and then all of a sudden, they got acorns literally everywhere. There's that alfalfa and wheat or whatever, like to the north there. There's really no specific reason. Because they have options everywhere else now. And
Well, it's just so weird. I mean, it's just like I got a camera out at my house and just had a, looks like a giant. I got literally just a piece of a buck. I mean, just the biggest tease, and you're like, oh my gosh. And I cannot find the deer to save my life. I mean, I don't know if he just gandered through there one time. I don't know, but it just sums it up, I guess. But here's the other deal, guys. We have had that kind of year, but one thing is we got some guys and friends even that are shooting some big deer. I mean, we just had Tony Smotherman just shot a giant typical on his own farm in Iowa. If you don't know the story, he moves from Tennessee, he'd been dreaming up for years. Him and his wife, they pick up and move to Iowa, bought a place, went to work, and not a big place. I don't even know how many acres it is, 120 acres right there?
I think his home farm is, yep.
Yeah, and fix it up, go to work on it, didn't have a lot, and shoots a almost 200-inch deer.
194, I believe.
With his CVA the other night. So congrats to him. And it's not only that. I mean,
That's so cool.
Yeah, him, Jeff Lindsay. You had the Lee Ellis buck. I mean, obviously everybody probably in the country knows about that deer. Who else? Tyler Jordan.
Just shot, 204 in Louisiana.
204 in Louisiana. And what I really like about these are good guys. I mean, these are guys doing it right. We know they're hunting right, hunting fair chase bucks, and it's always good to see that. I mean, like I said,
I'm excited because I have I can get an Iowa tag next year. So, Tony, if you're watching this, I need a good place to come hunt.
Tony, I guess he said it first. So,
I don't even need a 194. 180.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Just that. Yeah.
170 to 180.
Yeah, it's.
But Jeff shot his in Illinois, right?
Yeah,
Lindsay.
Jeff did shoot his in Illinois. I got to talk to him the other day, and just an incredible buck. And I think if you really look at that, I was talking to Jeff, and he said something. And I believe he passed that buck earlier in the year.
Yeah, I think I read that.
And I think his wife, he was leaving, and she said, "Do not pass that deer." And so that's the boss. So.
And I think it turned out to be a lot bigger than he originally thought.
Yeah. So congratulations to him. Another just great guy. The guy's doing it right.
Tyler's potentially a new Louisiana state record. Giant, giant typical.
And we got to hunt around him a little bit this year. Obviously he's hunted my farm. He shot a drop tine deer off my property a few years back, but I wasn't there to get to hunt with him. But we got to be in Georgia, right there on his home turf. So just kind of seeing his anxiety like he has the rest of us do as he hunted up there, and just trying to do things right, and then going to Louisiana and being able to hunt that buck. And it looks like Tyler had an encounter with him and then had to pull back, get off of him, and then come back in and find him in a different place and get him killed. So that was hats off to you, Tyler.
Yeah, I think it was after legal light.
Yeah.
That's what he said the first time. And he had him in bow range, but it was cameras could see him, but I don't think, legally he couldn't shoot him. So that'd be hard. I mean, I know a lot of people who wouldn't, people who don't hunt with cameras or whatever.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have done that, And
I
then
mean,
he got
what a giant.
Oh, God.
204 typical. I mean, golly.
The video of him when he steps out, you're just like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
You
Doesn't even
can
look
see
real.
Tyler, too. You're like, you can tell. I mean, they got good pre-roll, but they probably could have got a little more. He said, no.
No.
He stopped.
You got him?
Yeah.
You see how wet he fell? It felt like
right in the
it looked like he fell in a pond.
Yeah. It was like.
He got so much rain. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
So, congrats to him.
I don't know anyone else. I mean, just trying to think of the sure enough guys in the industry.
Birdsong's had a year.
Yeah, Birdsong shot a good one. Yeah.
Shot a 190 in Kansas.
In Kansas.
Yeah, I think he's hunting up north of us. But yeah, Kansas and that pocket up there is really good. And Kansas is good. We just hopefully next year, huh?
Yeah.
Which I guess you ain't got to tag. Witt's got to tag.
Yeah.
Cole doesn't have one. Chancey got to tag.
Chancey, you're going to have one too.
I'm going to put in.
Check.
You gotta wait.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, obviously, we've struggled just about from top to bottom, but there are people around the country killing big deer. It's just been one of those, at least for us. I mean, it's just been one of those weird years, and it's not just like, oh, Kansas is weird or oh, Oklahoma's weird. Like we go to I went to Ohio, that was tough. Went to Illinois, and that wasn't real tough on the deer movement, but it was tough for other reasons. Which we won't talk
You can go
about,
watch the YouTube video to see that.
but
It's called 3 Times the Charm if you want to know what it's.
Yeah. But and then you guys went to Illinois and hunting a killer spot. But I mean that was a tough hunt.
Yeah.
Like the best of
We got into deer, but just couldn't. We hit again. That's kind of going back Chancey to for us. It was hot weather again, and just trying to wait on a front that was never going to come.
Yeah.
And then we go muzzleloader hunting, and we got a shooter walk out. He's only got one side.
Yeah.
First night. Well, then you try to stay with who you are, which I agree with. But then 3-4 days in the hunt, tough hunt, we pass a 150. And happened quick, but could have killed him. But just it's just not what you're after.
It's not what you dream of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so you gotta. The one thing that I think that we've done a fairly good job here is we're not just shooting TV bucks. We're trying to shoot what we want to shoot. Whitney, hats off to her. She could probably go kill a buck. She got a buck pretty good right now. That's a 4-year-old, but she's like, you know what? I ain't doing it.
And it'd be her biggest buck with a bow.
Yeah, for sure.
And she ain't got nothing on film, so hats off to her. I like that. I think that is admirable. And again, that's to me what we all got to be is find out what hunter you are and then stick to it. Because here's the deal. I can tell you by experience, not everyone's going to like you no matter what. So just be who you are. So, yeah. Good job, Will.
That's the way it's always been around my area. I feel like sometimes you don't kill one. And next year might be awesome. Next year I might kill 2 really big bucks, but this year it just wasn't it. That's all right.
Well, we're still going. You never know. Something might show up even. But, yeah. What else?
So another thing I feel like that's really hurt us this year is y'all haven't been able to hunt the Wallahatchie.
Yeah, that's always going to hurt. It's definitely, if you don't know, we had kind of a deal going on the Wallahatchie. We've been out and hunting, and it's sold. So, and again, we're out of that area. Definitely in a transition on other things, but yeah, we had the Wallahatchie dialed in. Dialed. I'm talking big muleys and big whitetails. I just hope the new owners got it done.
Yeah.
The truck buck. Go ahead.
Well, and the last 3 years, which we've been battling drought forever, especially up in that part of the country. And that first year we tried to plant some alfalfa, and it just didn't take perfect. And then this year we got alfalfa to grow, and I just remember pulling in for the first time since the summer. I think it was like the very first week of October. And I pop up, and there's the dry land is all perfect wheat popping up. The alfalfa is just popping, and I'm like, this place is going to be crazy. Sure enough, we throw out our cameras, which we had cameras up during the summer, but obviously no food down there at that point. And there were some bucks here and there. All of a sudden, the muley's on camera, the truck buck is on camera and looking, unbelievable. Everywhere else in the country, like that, that we have stuff like Kansas, central Oklahoma, we had bucks here and there, but never on a pattern, right? Like they were so sporadic. Here, they were patternable. Like they were coming to the alfalfa. They were, we knew what they were doing, and it was kind of one of those deals where like just kind of licking our chops, ready for muzzleloader to open up, and then
boom.
Yeah.
So
boom.
Y'all can't hunt there.
Yeah. Nope.
It's sold. But it happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we've had, 21, 21st season? Is that what we're fixing to go into?
This is the 22nd.
22nd season.
Well, and I've got to say about the Wallahatchie before I move on is I was super excited because, I didn't draw for Kansas this year. I put in for a point, and, Cole had drawn for Kansas. So Jeff was like, yeah, man, you're good to hunt the Wallahatchie, all this. I'm like licking my chops. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome.
Now I know why it didn't sell forever. He was praying, dear Lord, help it not to sell.
This is gonna be awesome. And it's like that commercial, like the what was it, the Geico commercial with the guy with the dollar.
Yeah, we get quicker than that.
It's like right there.
Well, what kind of stinks in a sense is we could have went and hunted it a little bit early, but like, well, we're gonna keep it how it is, like this zoo with these deer walking around, and then go up there and muzzleloader.
We're just gonna wayland,
just lay some big deer down. And then
it went in under contract, and then they said we don't want anybody hunting it.
It was in the contract,
which I wouldn't blame them.
Good move.
Yeah, good on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was 180 something inch mule deer walking around.
Yeah, maybe 190.
Maybe 190. That
probably 30 inches wide
here in Oklahoma. That we could have went and hunted, and the truck buck, he may be one of my favorite deer of all time. I don't know why. He was just.
Well, he weighed 350 pounds.
He was huge.
Yeah.
And then we had those pictures or videos on that scrape.
Oh my gosh!
Was it on the alfalfa?
That was on the alfalfa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gosh.
And you would get pictures of him, on the veil feeders and eating Big and J and stuff. And but I'm telling you, you get those videos of him working that scrape, and it's like jaw dropping.
Yeah. Look at this!
Oh
Look at this
my
moose
gosh.
making these scrapes.
Well, and the big nine was that big a body too. They're just freaking.
His neck this big
Well,
around.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just
Baby Kong was there.
Yeah.
He's a stud. There was a lot of deer.
there's a lot of deer.
Man, I wish we could have went after. But
Well, brings us to this, guys. We are, after all these years, I think I've hunted in Northwest Oklahoma. I know probably ever since y'all watched me back then. I think that's always. And now, pretty much, this is it. We'll be, we're going to kind of do some different things. Obviously, we're hunting around here. I'm still trying to shoot 6x. But we are going to probably venture out, out west, some big muleys, maybe even mountain lion hunts. Maybe probably going to bear hunt this spring. Going to do some different stuff. So that is.
But we've always relied on, in a sense, our stuff. It's always been we've either leased the land or you owned it, and we did all the work, which we love.
Yeah.
We love it, but it's hard.
You can only do so much, and that's what we're finding out, especially since, before I always leased it and we did our own work. But now we own quite a bit in Kansas now. So you get the tractors there, and then we're doing the stuff now, and, we'll have new stuff around Blackwell and that kind of stuff. We're going to be doing our own stuff, but there's only so much you can do yourself.
And so to help, because we have to shoot so many deer a year per se to fill episodes. So we're going to hopefully rely on some other people to help.
Well, with that too, Cole, I mean, it's my bucket list, which, y'all got your own bucket list too that we'll get to fulfill hopefully as we go. But that's kind of where it's going to lean. I mean, heck, it's, we'll kind of best of both worlds. And since we won't just be all doing it ourselves, right, but we'll be doing a lot of that. But we are. So I'll say this. I mean, we're definitely open to any leases that anybody knows. Open to any. We're really looking for a really good Texas place to go to. Where we could all go and have a good time, shoot some really good deer. So, again, if it ain't too secret, holler at us. We would be interested. So,
hey, and there's still time this year for us to come hunt. We still have season left.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be next year.
And by the way, I got to bring this up. I don't even know where this is going to go. I don't know, but I'm going to try to get on the good side of this because they told me I did really good filming of that. I just want you to know, Chancey left me in Kansas, guiding and filming. And let me just tell you, I have to have glasses now up close. So if you would have saw me filming this hunt, spotting stock, crawling this, that, whatever, and then having to get up, have my glasses on the end of my nose, looking at the screen, looking at the deer. Now, go ahead, brag. Just brag on me a little.
We're going to have to show it. It is pretty impressive.
So anyway, we... No, he did good.
Yeah.
No, it was good. And that was the NWTF winner.
Dave, yeah.
Yeah, Dave. And by the way, what a great guy.
Oh, gosh.
Love Dave. My gosh.
He's a friend, buddy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he shot his biggest deer ever,
Yep.
right?
And it's funny because I don't know if I told y'all this. He can't make the NWTF this year, have that auction. And so I'm going to be giving it away. We're going to be auctioning off another Kansas hunt. And he said, well, I won't be there, but we're going to be bidding on it. He's got it online.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he shot one.
I'm glad it all worked out. I mean, he put in a lot of effort there to get down to us, and obviously money to buy the hunt, and support the NWTF along with it. It was a good deal, but he kind of came. I mean, we've been talking about this whole podcast. I mean, it's just been tough. I mean, there just wasn't. I mean, it just wasn't nervous. The normal deer, and I mean. I know Jeff was feeling it, and I mean, I was in the blind with him for a few days feeling it too. It's like whenever you're hunting and you just don't have that slam dunk and all that, like you just get like a little bit anxiety, a little bit like, oh my, like I just hope this happens.
And he was a great one because
oh my gosh,
a lot of them come, and even him, he'd probably admit it that when you're coming, you're thinking, man, I'm going to the Buckventures, Kansas ground I've seen on all these years, and that's what you're expecting. Just like Anthony McClinko came, but it's not that. It's still hunting. And we're in a rough year, and that was what was so good about Dave. We let him know, I mean, hey, this ain't what it's usually like, but this is what we got.
And he ended up shooting an absolute toad.
Oh, God.
Basically 100, you said you roughed like 158 inch.
Yeah, roughed him at 158
right?
as a 9, with barely a 9. The deer was bigger than I thought. His 2s wrapped. And they were, I think, 13s, right at 13s. I mean, he's a big deer. And I mean, obviously, you filmed him early. He was a man. Mm-hmm. He had probably lost 60 pounds. So.
Yep.
I can't believe Paul had that deer at like 2 yards.
Yeah, our buddy Paul Baines literally had him at 2 yards. And then 30 and just couldn't get him killed. But
that deer's been dead like 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Over the course of
well, I mean.
So was 6x.
Cole and them had that deer, and it's coming right in there. I mean, it's just, they're like, here he is. And he just looks up, wind in their face, and he just freaking turns around and walks off, or trots off.
Yeah, let's go over here.
And he had been.
That was a crazy.
The week before he was daylight every single day, almost like.
Oh,
it
and
was pretty cool.
Well, let's actually tell that story because it's funny. Like, the opening week of Kansas, we look and the weather is horrible. I'm talking like the worst that you could possibly imagine. And Jeff gets on the horn with Anthony. He's like, "Hey man, next week looks a lot better. If you can push the trip back, that'd be good." So he ends up pushing the trip back. Well, the opening week where the weather's horrible gets here, this deer is daylight every single night.
Like an hour
It's like
before
100 degrees.
We can kill him.
It's back to that deal, right? Every decision I made. And just to further that up, and it's no joke, every decision, I made that decision, Anthony, sorry. The night that we're going in, the last day that we got to hunt the other day with Dave, all day I said, we're going in the honey hole. We're going in the honey hole. I just got a feeling. we got a decent wind. We're going to the honey hole. Well, the more I thought on it that day, I thought, that wind is decent, but it isn't perfect. I've always followed the wind. So I thought, I'm going to go this, what I call the North Food Plot, just right up the ridge from it. And it was the wrong decision. I'm sitting there and I look down. I'm like, dude, he's down at the honey hole. I said, get your stuff. Let's go. So I made the wrong decision, and I was so fighting mad. I'm like, we're killing this deer right now. Come on. Because I'd already talked to Dave. Hey, can you stay another day or two? Because I just couldn't let this guy leave without getting him on this deer. Yeah. And Lord willing, or Lord.
It actually turned into a really cool hunt.
It did, yeah.
Yes. Like a spot and stock, crawling through under fences and shoot him in the alfalfa while he's destroying a T-post or a wooden post.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That was cool.
Yeah. Speaking of bad decisions, I hadn't got my 10 on camera daylight for weeks. And so I was like, I'm going to go to Indiana. The weather's not that great. I went to Indiana, came back, checked the camera. He was daylight every single day I was in Indiana. Every single day. I was like, and then that was about the last time he was on camera. Then he's just gone. I was like, oh my goodness.
That's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
Poor us. We are
poor
hurting.
But with all that, we shot some deer. We've had some unbelievable hunts. We went to Georgia. Chancey shot like 45 deer.
That Hey, listen,
him and
that
Whitney.
was a phenomenal week. I don't know what they're
We
talking
had
about.
so
That was
much
so
fun.
much fun.
Well, Whitney's pretty much filmed everything that's died. So
Yeah, your
Yeah,
dad.
anytime.
That's true.
The week of Thanksgiving was a good week.
Yeah.
Your dad shot. Actually, your dad was the week before, but he shot the oldest deer ever. There on the Woolly, and then
Yeah,
a couple
definitely.
days before, I went and killed, and the next day you killed, and Chancey killed actually the same day your dad did in Illinois.
is that
It
right?
was
Same
pop,
morning.
pop, pop. It was the same
Yeah.
morning.
Huh?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I text you, and literally like 30 minutes later, you text me back and said, "Yeah, Dad just shot too."
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good run, and and then not to think, we had Alex, that we'll be dropping that show before long. I mean, Alex shot his first deer on your 10 acres, 9 acres, which was as cool as it
With a
comes.
bow, yeah.
with a bow. We got to take Kaylee. We hunted with Tony Smotherman. I mean, there's, again, blessing after blessing. And going back to Georgia, I mean, we're hunting Realtree Farms. I mean,
We didn't kill nothing.
well,
We got to see some cool places though.
no, we didn't. Killed some time.
I'd like to point this out. So I'm like the main producer, like cameraman, and I have not filmed one kill the entire year.
Filming bad hunters.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just been a weird
yeah,
year.
Chancey filmed me kill, and then I filmed my own doe kill. And so I got 2 kills. I got 2 more kills than you do filming. No.
Yeah, that's
Is that
pretty
not,
funny.
is that not weird?
That's funny.
I was thinking about that. I was like, I haven't even filmed a kill. I don't even. I guess I've been close. I almost killed with Anthony. That deer turned around,
6 by.
and then
Almost
6
6
by when
by.
Jeff messed that one up. I don't know what happened there. I think he yelled at him or something.
Yeah.
That's it.
Man,
I
that
think.
was as close as it comes, both those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just been weird, but it's been good. We still got over a month, or basically a month left here in Oklahoma. It ain't over.
And so, yeah, we're getting ready, guys, just so you know, kind of wrapping up, but we're getting ready. We'll be hunting. Whitney's, we're talking about she's going to Indiana. We're going to check that out today with a muzzleloader. She might run up her CVA. She got a really good jam up spot up there. Chancey will be going home for Christmas, so he may go over to our Ohio lease and see what's shaking there. And then Cole and I are we're going to be after 6 by and then pushing maybe to go to Illinois or Texas. And we may even be going to Oklahoma out to Jesse Bloomer's place. So we're not done. And then with that said, I just want to throw out there to you guys, we are going to be doing the Backwoods show as always. So we're going to come up there. I mean, the Backwoods should be just unbelievable again. But this year, I want y'all to know, I want to throw this out early. Is it the week after?
I don't think it's the week after.
I would have to check.
We don't know the dates, but there's a Backwoods show in Tulsa or Claremore this year. So right there in Tulsa area. And maybe they can find the dates here in just a second. But I just want y'all to know we will be there. It's going to be a brand new deal. We really want you guys, if you're around, be involved in this. Let's get Oklahoma. The Backwoods show in Oklahoma City is so good. Let's make that Tulsa one good as well. And then we're what days we in NWTF? Right there, middle of February, right?
Middle.
Yeah, it's
February.
right by Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I think it's the Backwoods in Oklahoma City. What we have down is the February 28th through March 1st or 2nd, and that's in Oklahoma City. So where it usually is there.
Yeah.
And then it looks like March 28th, so a month later.
Okay, a month later.
Is the Tulsa one.
Yeah.
And I believe NWTF is going to be February 13th, 14th, and 15th, somewhere in there.
It's kind of crazy. It's really not that far away.
No, it'll be here in a blink of an eye. I mean,
Yeah,
we'll-
SHOT Show and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And for the record, we're not putting out cameras until August 1st next year. Y'all check us on that, see if that happens.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm 6'3".
Oh man.
Well, what else? We just want to get on here, kind of do a little, kind of what we've been through. It's been a rough year. It's been a good year, and we're still after it. It is going to come to an end soon, I'm sure. It seems like we started hunting in August, and that's been 3 months ago, whatever it is.
Seems like a year ago of just pure, you know what. One thing I do want to bring up, just kind of a tease, but one, I want to say that we are working right now on designing new places on our farms. That's something that we really, we feel like that just kills big deer for us most years. But there is 2 places that we have designed in the past, and we're going to let you in on those places on a coming podcast. And I want to dive into that because I truly believe if you use this formula that we have, it can make you, first of all, what it does for your farms, it spreads your farms out. It makes things almost like bulletproof. A lot of times you got the tree that is pretty good, but deer's going to get behind you. The way these designs that we've designed these things, they make them bulletproof. So we're really going to dig into that. We'll dig into it from the air, from what we did, every step that we did, and show you what you can do to your farms. I really, really, not only did we like it when we designed it, but as we hunted it, Whitney actually was, she got to film Big 9 there and Dad's kill. Yeah. I actually filmed my doe kill out of one of those designs, but I just can't wait to dig into that with you because it can help your farms 100%. Right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, is that it for this one? We're at like 45 minutes or so. We're going to, like I said, our goal is to start doing one a week, especially as season ends and even before that. Really get going. Try to get as many guests good guests on as we can, and dive in and educate and just chit chat and figure out how other people are doing things compared to us, and what, share it and see if it works for them, whatever it may be. So,
yeah. One thing I would want to bring up is right now we've partnered with NWTF. We actually have a gun raffle calendar that we are selling. It's a Buckventures calendar. And they are live, and we can actually leave the link in the description to pick one up. But basically there is a calendar, and each week of the month, NWTF is giving a gun away, and basically one calendar gets you one ticket into this raffle. So each week, per calendar that you buy, you have 52. You have 52 chances to win a gun.
Every Wednesday.
Every
How much
Wednesday.
does the calendar cost?
It's $60, and that includes all the handling fees, all the shipping fees to your door.
$60, and you get 52 tickets.
And you get.
There's so many more prizes too. It's Stealth Cam.
That's right.
Big and J, Woodhaven.
Giving away a bunch of
Buddy
stuff.
Boots.
It is.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
It's
awesome.
a really good deal. I know personally, I've bought 5 just to give away for Christmas gifts. Mm-hmm. They're great Christmas gifts, and it not only is it the calendar, is it the it's your spot in to get all these awesome prizes throughout the whole 2025 year, but it also comes with a complimentary NWTF membership. Which is a $35 value just right there. So,
and
really cool deal.
So there's 2,000 calendars available. You can buy one, or you can buy 80, whatever you want. And then what's cool is if you do win, let's just say you win the first week of January, your name just goes right back in the pot.
Oh, is that right?
So you could technically, not that this will happen, you could technically win 52 guns.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. For $60, $60.
Well, I guess
Which is a crazy value.
Yeah.
And that'd be a wrong decision for me,
And
that I won't win.
Yeah. And all the money is going to NWTF.
NWTF, all that. Yep.
Help conservation efforts and all that. So really cool
Yeah, make
deal.
sure and check that out, guys. Support them. They support all. I don't care what kind of hunting you do. They support it. They're helping everything, the outdoorsmen. So they're maybe one of the best organizations that I know that does that. So, man, it's a good place to put your money. And the thing about it is, it's a pretty good value right there. Just like I said, you get $35 membership already, which, and I believe, guys, just so you know, that membership, if you go ahead and get this calendar, that membership gets you in the door at NWTF at the show, correct?
That's right.
I believe so.
Yeah, so you only have to pay the door fee. So if you're going to go to that, make sure and do that, because there's your door fee right there, and you got your membership, and you got 52 chances plus stealth cameras and other prizes as well. So.
And I don't know exactly when this podcast is going up. If you're listening to it right away, it is December the 16th. And I believe if you order by December the 19th, does that sound right?
Yeah.
If you order by December the 19th, that's this Thursday. Is that right?
Yeah, we could do that.
Then it will get to you by Christmas. We're shipping priority mail as of now. So great Christmas ideas. If you order by December 19th, it will there's a really, really good chance it'll be there by Christmas.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I mean, even if it's after that date, I mean, it'll get you there, and you'll have chances throughout, like I said, all 2025 to win really cool prizes. Yep. And these guns are no joke. Like, these are really cool guns.
Pistol, shotguns, rifles, muzzleloaders.
Yep.
And if you don't hear this by January 1st or after, you can still buy one, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
And it starts, it's literally 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks it starts. So
The drawings will start here in a couple weeks. But like I said, it's only as quantities are available. And actually, Cole, so it started out, we were going to do 2 sets of 1,000. We're actually only doing 1 set of 1,000 now. So there's only 1,000 calendars left. There's been a bunch of them that have been bought up. So we just have a couple hundred, few hundred left.
Yeah.
And I really think we're about to make a big post on Buckventures too. So I would say that it'll probably go, here pretty quick. So if you're at all interested, I would go ahead and get on the horn and get as many as you can.
Buy 50 of them.
Oh, yeah.
It'd probably pay off, to be honest.
Yeah.
How do you know if you won?
They'll get a hold of you.
Yeah.
We have
they'll get a
all
hold.
the-
Yeah, we have
It's
all
based
the
on a
stakes.
number.
So you buy the calendar, you stick it up, you just go on about your business, and somebody, if you've won, they're going to call you.
That's right. Yep. Each calendar has a number on it right there on the back, and that's how we basically coordinate. Okay, we'll go say, okay, number 135 won. We'll see who that is. All the
When
contact
does it
information.
start, Chance? When will they start drawing?
So the drawing starts
First week of January.
the first week of January, and it goes every single week or throughout that deal.
There's actually 53 guns.
Yep. Right.
How it works out
That's
this
right.
year. There's 53 guns.
Yep. 53 Wednesdays. That's right. Yep. Plus, like what Whitney said, I mean, you can win a gun, and then that week you might win a pair of boots or a case of Big and J feed or a gun call
360.
or 360
Yeah,
self
it's the
cam.
360.
There's a lot of different opportunities to win. A lot of good, cool, or really cool goodies.
And speaking of that, last thing I want to say is just kind of the product review type stuff. Just listening to the 360 cameras by Stealth, guys. They're a game changer. That, along with that little deal that sticks in the ground, and the solar panels. The solar panels, so they have been a game changer for us. The solar panels are new and improved. And we have cameras right now that are months and months and months and still full charge. So this is not a selling deal. I'm telling you the truth. Looking at you right
Saved us
now.
hundreds
Hundreds of dollars.
maybe thousands.
Yes.
In batteries.
So again, I think the AHME and the Stealth both are basically the same type deal. But those deals, guys. So look into that. The other thing is, CVA has come out with that new gun. It is it's long, but it's maybe one of the best shooting guns.
The LRH.
Yeah, the LRH. It is, and that stands for long
Range hunter.
Yeah. But you can check that out.
And then they have the varmint, predator seasons.
Well, that's what I was fixing to get into. That the other one, it's called
The VH.
the
Varmint
V8,
hunter.
yeah, and it's just perfect. It's short. Throw a can on it, and it is unreal. I think that clip holds 10 plus one in the deal, so you got 11. That is a game changer out there, throwing some darts at coyotes. So check that out.
You might have to save the Dead Downwind Black for another podcast because he could
We'll
go
go
on
into depth on that.
He
Yeah.
could go on that
Yeah.
for.
I'm gonna tell you right now. We'll do that tease. That the black. You want to change your hunt, and you know me. I've never ever been on this bandwagon as far as, man, and I'm still not going to go there. I'm still going to hunt right, but we need to talk about dead downwind black and no joke what it's done. It's crazy. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, what else?
That's probably enough. They're probably tired of listening to us anyway.
Yeah.
They've already clicked off.
Mm-hmm.
It's 55 minutes in, so.
Or maybe here in the next couple of weeks we can start kind of, because I know it sounds like we've just been in the woods and we're just not killing anything and all that, but even though we haven't killed a bunch of deer, we have had a lot of encounters. So maybe here we can maybe dig into some of the encounters coming up and just some of the stories, because one thing we do have this year, we have a whole bunch of stories.
Yeah.
That we can
Most
tell.
of them are not in our favor, but
Most
we got a
of them
lot of
are not in
stories.
our favor. Yeah.
But,
Yeah, we've been
Laugh
beat.
so you don't
Licking
cry.
our wounds. Yeah.
And we're not done. You know us. We don't give up. So,
yep.
well,
We'll
guys,
survive.
appreciate you. Always appreciate you. Make sure and check out the YouTube. I appreciate all the messages I get every day. And just so you know, if I don't get back to you, first of all, remember, I don't know how to run social media, for one.
He's like 65.
I mean, a lot of times I look and I'm like, dude, this guy, he messaged me 6 months ago. And I'm dead serious too. I'm just not very good at it. So I just hope that you haven't got your feelings hurt that I don't get back to you, because I really want to. They just get lost in the shuffle in my stuff. So, but again, we love all you guys, that we know what it takes to do what we do, and then we know that y'all support is what's done it for now this is our 22nd season. So praise the Lord in that. And again, more than ever, I just want to point to Christ. I want to point you to Christ in whatever you're going through, and kind of, as I even talk with Whitney and Chancey and Cole and Daniel, whatever it is, that is our goal here. We go after big bucks as we're hunting under the Lord, and you know, the ultimate deal is what He puts in front of us. But our ultimate deal is to live for Him in everything we do, whether we're down in that valley or we're on that mountain. And that is what we want to look like. That is our goal, is to point you to Christ through what we do. We make mistakes every day, but I think our hearts, He has those drawn to Him. So anyway, whatever you're going through this season, this holiday season, I just encourage you, man, to point to Him. Go read His Word. Get on your knees and pray. Be in His house. And there's plenty of time for hunting. Be in His house every Sunday. And I know I stole your end here, but I'll let you end it now.
Well, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Can you subscribe on like Apple Podcasts? No, I don't know how it works.
I think you have to add it to your like or
Just
something
add
like that.
it. Turn on notifications, all that stuff.
Just hit all the buttons.
Hit everything, and we're going to do this more often. We promise we will do this more often this coming year. So thanks again. And remember, as we always say, shoot by sight and walk by faith.